Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had Game Start. More or less a recap episode of everything that has happened so far. However, there was actually a plot that framed this recap, which was Class 1A went swimming. Wasn't that interesting? It was mainly in the hope that Kaminari and Mineta would see the girls in their bikinis. That didn't end up working out for them. And there was going to be a race between all the guys in the pool. And the winners of the three different races were Todoroki, Bakugo, and Midoriya. And the three of them were going to have another race to decide who was the all-time champion. But it was 5 o'clock and their time was up, so they had to all go home. And that was pretty much that. Good episode, good fun episode, even, just for a recap episode. It was still pretty good and pretty fun. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. And this is also where I say that, like always, if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of My Hero Academia, it is down in the description or the pinned comment, and the pinned comment. You can go to either. It'll have the exact same link there, and you click on that link, and that will take you to the reaction. And when you're done with that, like always, I always encourage you to come back to the YouTube video once you're done so that you can watch the discussion. So yeah, with that being said, we might as well get right into this episode of My Hero Academia. Here we go. Alrighty. Day 1 is done. Day 1 of the training is over. And holy Toledo, day 1 is pretty intense. Pretty intense. But I like this. I'm liking the training camp here. So yeah. The first thing, if we go ahead and pop right into the notes, the first thing I wrote down is the Union. Now let me go back a bit and listen to that. So first off, Shigaraki mentioned that the Master, All for One, immediately found the training camp, which is pretty crazy. So, yeah, that's going to be... So, they are going to attack, basically.
I heard back from the Union today. You can expect a delivery tomorrow. It was thrown together quickly, so it might not look like much, but quality is guaranteed.
Okay.
I must apologize for making such an unreasonable request. Tell me, Shigaraki, do you know why the Union accepted this outlandish order of yours? Because everyone's got high expectations of you. If the League of Villains steps into the light, then the scum hiding on the sidelines will follow suit. And if that happens, it means brokers like me win big.
Yeah.
We're rolling in new customers.
Okay, so the Union is kind of like the support course, basically. So, which we saw at the end with the after credits scene that Shigaraki ordered something. He ordered something from the Union, some sort of device or something, to give to his villains, basically. And that's pretty interesting. It is basically, which I guess we've had before with this guy, that, he's not exactly a villain, but he makes stuff for villains, and that's what the Union does. And the Union is banking on Shigaraki, basically, because there's a lot riding on this, basically. So it was a interesting, outlandish order, whatever it was, but it did work, and it did work. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, basically, again, the support course of the support group of villains, which is pretty cool. The next thing I wrote down was the road trip. Well, not too much of a road trip. So they drove for about an hour, and then they stopped, basically. I was kind of hoping the road trip would last a little longer, but no. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we meet our two heroes, the Wild Pussycats. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Also, it is cool that, we see Class 1B is there too. And it also makes sense that Kendo would be the class rep for them. Alright, let me see these. So we have Mandalay, and then it was Pixie-Bob. I thought it was Pixie-Bomb, but I think it's Pixie-Bob.
Long time no see.
Your feline fantasies are here.
Feline fantasies.
Perfectly cute and cat-like girls. You can call us the Pussycats.
These are the
Oh, okay. So that's it. Okay, everything is clicked in my head. So first off, yes, it's Pixie-Bob, not Pixie-Bomb, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, they will be the trainers, and it was interesting, when Midoriya's like, they were formed when we were kids. It's been so long, and then she's just like, shut the fuck up. We're teenagers, don't you know? And it's like, no, but he did say, they're a group of 4. They were a group of 4. They were a group of 4. So now I've clicked it all together that Koda's parents were also the Wildcats, 2 of the Wildcats. Because that's what Midoriya says, is that there were 4 of them.
pro heroes you'll be working with at the summer training camp.
They're a 4-person hero team who specialize in mountain rescues!
I love Midoriya just going nuts over them. Yeah, and he's blushing too. And they specialize in mountain rescues. Gee, I wonder why. So that was pretty crazy that one of them is basically an earthbender, which is pretty cool. Although it wasn't any earthbending like in Avatar. This was, completely moving dirt and like creating beasts out of them, which was pretty cool.
The Pussycats were founded when we were kids, like forever ago!
Forever ago.
You're working as a...
I'm pretty sure your math must be off. I'm 18 at heart.
18 at heart.
So sad. Say hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
We own this whole stretch of land out here. Everything you can see.
So that's pretty cool that they own the training ground, basically. And then, so then here's the real training, is going through the Beast Forest, which was pretty cool. That was really great, watching everyone work together, too, to go through the Beast Forest. So that was pretty awesome. And I do love Pixie-Bob, doing all her dirt stuff so that, all the, monsters and stuff attack. I did like that. And it was great just seeing everyone work together. And I was getting so pumped, when it's like, one for all, full cowling, and reciprocal burst. Like that was so cool. Just watching literally everyone work together. The only thing is, Hagakure really didn't do too much. She did, do something, I will say. It's like, okay, because she was in there as the distraction, for Ashido to go in, acid the legs, and then Yaoyorozu used a cannon to blast them, which is pretty cool. So there is teamwork, but man, Hagakure, I guess, because even Mineta, was doing a bit, he was throwing balls left and right to get them to stick to trees and stuff like that. So, yeah, Hagakure really isn't a very offensive hero, really. So, but that's alright. Let's see. We did get the knowledge that they're going to get a provisional license after the training camp, which is pretty cool. So basically, how did Aizawa describe it? Let me look.
A dirt clod. I get it. It's Pixie-Bob's quirk.
Pixie-Bob.
Don't you think you've got them on a pretty crazy schedule, Eraser?
Yeah.
I like that they call him Eraser.
Entire second semester's worth of knowledge in them here.
Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me listen to that part again.
Don't you think you've got them on a pretty crazy schedule, Eraser?
Yeah. We're hoping to get an entire second semester's worth of knowledge in them here.
Interesting. They're going to basically learn an entire semester's worth of knowledge during this 1 week, which is pretty crazy. That's intense. That is really intense. But that does line up with, everything needs to be sort of upped, because villains are getting a bit more ambitious. Everything's about to go crazy, so this group of heroes needs to be ready. So that's pretty interesting that, I don't know, I don't think maybe this will take a year off of, this will start like taking away a semester of their time at UA. I don't think so. I think they're still going to have the same amount of time at UA, but that's a pretty interesting concept. They're basically going to be trained. They're probably going to be the best heroes once they get out of UA.
That's going to take an intense amount of work, but the rewards will be worth it.
Yeah.
They'll get permits to use their quirks if there's ever an emergency.
Yeah, they can use quirks in an emergency.
It will allow them to work as heroes.
Yeah, and they can work as heroes with a provisional license, which is... I'm pretty sure, like, the way they imply that, this is a new thing, basically. Although, it could be that this is when you get that at UA. But you also have to think that, this class is a lot different from previous classes. Because they've said before that, with the internships, like, they generally don't do too many internships with first years. I think they said that when they started the internships. So things are different for... despite the fact that they're all first years, So that's pretty cool. That they'll get provisional licenses and permits to use their quirks in emergencies. So that is really, really cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I wrote down Mineta. Of course, I wrote down Mineta. So, man, continuing on pretty much from last episode. Oh, Mineta. Man, this show, I will say, has been... It's been pretty good about, like, fan service. I mean, yes, you could say, okay, well, Yaoyorozu's entire outfit is fan service, basically. Midnight is a fan service character, honestly. I love Midnight, but still, But just in these 2 episodes where they have last episode where we see all the girls in their bikinis, and this episode where most of them are just completely naked. Like, all right, this is getting a little nuts, Oh, and poor Ida got Mineta ass in his face.
Thanks so much, Coach Babe! We owe you one!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just like I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at them. I'm not. You guys know me better than that. I'm not looking at it all. Seeing a hole in the water where Gakure is. God, that is funny though. That one I have to say, that is really funny. Just because she's invisible. And she is always... I love that she is always invisible. Like, that is funny. There are plenty of, superheroes that have invisibility powers, but they can turn it off whenever they need to. She is constantly invisible. I think that's actually hilarious. But yeah. But I'm not looking... I'm not etching this into my mind. Not etching everything into my mind. An image that I will call upon later. Oh. Right. Mineta. We were talking. Sorry. I just... Anyway. So that, it is still pretty funny. I do like that Mineta never gets anything. It's like he tries. He constantly tries to get something. Never does he get anything. And that was funny too with, just a wall. And it's like, oh, he has the perfect quirk for this because he can just, make a ladder basically, which was funny, So that was really good. And I like, they say, Aizawa basically warned them that one of them was a little girl crazy. So they posted Coda up there, which was really funny. Oh, man. And it is funny, because Coda looks at them and faints, and then Midoriya catches him. And that entire time, Midoriya still has his towel on. It must be a good knot he tied on that towel, Like, that's impressive. And then at the end, it's like, oh, they're explaining all this all this, this tragic backstory of Koda and everything, and it's like, Midoriya's naked. He just has a towel on him. It's like, this is a little awkward. Can he put, like, some pants on before we get a tragic backstory? So, yeah, but, anyway, so yeah. And then we might as well talk about Koda. So, okay, here's the thing. Koda is the name of our Anna Voice character, right? Is it different, though? Is it a different spelling? It might be, maybe it's Koda. Because, sometimes, like, I have to write out the names for, like, tags and everything for videos and stuff. So, it might be different, because I notice here it's Kota. Is our Anna Voice character Koda? Why would they do that? How am I supposed to distinguish between Koda and Koda? Kota and Koda. I'm going to have to start saying it. I'm going to have to over-enunciate like that. So, yeah. Kota. First off, so he doesn't like heroes. Like, I want to be around a bunch of wannabe heroes. And he punches Midoriya in his nuts. That is such a dick move right there. He just square punches him. And I love to, Ida being... Because Ida goes over to, like, catch him and make sure he's okay. It's like, that was a low blow. It is unfair to hit a man in the scrotum. It's like, this is so dumb. But I really did like that. And from that, and the fact he's like, oh, you're just a bunch of wannabe heroes. I love that Bakugo actually likes him. And that was... Like, that felt like the most genuine just smile Bakugo has ever done. Other than his, like, crazy smiles that he gets, He's just, like, relaxed. Like, yeah, I like this kid. Like, this is Bakugo we're talking about, I'm sorry. It's on... I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. I'm trying to focus on the camera because I have it up on my monitor. And on my other monitor is where my screen recording is. So it's on there, too, so I can see it twice. I'm trying to keep myself distracted. I'm gonna try to keep myself talking, The FBI is gonna bust down my door any second now, I'm sure. So, alright. But we did get the backstory on Koda. I like that we got the backstory immediately. It's like, okay, now we know. Now we know what his deal is, That he didn't understand why his parents died, heroically, To him... His parents just left him and died, basically. So, that was pretty interesting. It is compelling, It makes sense why he wouldn't like heroes. Because, well, being heroes is what got his parents killed, So, and he doesn't even like, Mandalay and Pixie-Bob. Gonna take me a bit to get their names, I think. But, yeah. So, it makes sense why... he doesn't like heroes. And I like that we got the backstory pretty much immediately. And the last two things I wrote down are pretty much the ball throw and physical training. So that was interesting that he had Bakugo throw the ball again, and it was only like a couple more meters, basically. And they were all under the assumption that they had grown so much stronger over the past semester. But honestly, it's all been like mental training and everything, like Aizawa said. And I would go listen to what Aizawa said exactly, but there's no way on this earth that I am getting off of this screen anytime soon. So, anyway. But yeah, so he's like, everything you've learned, it's all been, mental training or like, strategic training and stuff like that. Like, you've all grown smarter and more mature through this semester, but you haven't actually physically improved. And even Midori, it's like, okay, he has physically improved, at least with his quirk, now he's using full cowling instead of, the monster smashes and everything. But at the same time, it actually has really weakened him. He's not strong anymore. He doesn't have those strong attacks that he can do. He has to do a lot more of the weaker but still effective. That's the thing, is that his attacks are more effective, but they're not as powerful. And now we need to get him up to where they are powerful and effective. So that was been really interesting. This is going to be a hell of a week, I have to say. This is going to be a hell of a week, because they said it's like, summer lasts, the break between semesters lasts a month. It's interesting that they don't just have them, training for a month, you know? But it's only a week, and this is going to be a very, very intense week. And yeah, and it's also interesting. I did catch when Pixie-Bob was like, you know, this is the only time we're going to be doing this for you guys, so you guys enjoy. It's like, oh, they're not going to be giving you guys food, and you know, they're not going to give you guys feasts. They're probably not going to give you hot springs anymore, you know? So they need to cherish this, and I need to cherish this as much as I possibly can, because I will never be able to see it again. I'm sure it's on Google Images. I know it's on Google Images. There's a lot on Google Images, honestly. I shouldn't have admitted that on camera. So, I'm going to see you guys in the next episode, but for now, I have work to do. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.